Hey everybody, I'm Jack. Welcome to Raw Tropical Living. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. Beautiful hump day here in South Alabama. The heat hadn't been too bad. We've gotten a nice little break this week. The temperatures have still been high, but our humidity's been a little bit lower, so definitely makes it feel a little nicer, a little bit more tolerable. But hey, I got no complaints. This summer heat is not bothering me at all. I want to talk about raw food diet, intermittent fasting today. Listen, I do videos every day, so go ahead and go down there and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done it, please. And then be sure you click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will get updates and stay subscribed to the channel. The intermittent fasting, I like to look up the topics from time to time, you know, the buzzwords, the trends, the things that everybody's talking about. Actually, this one I think is starting to wane a little bit. I've seen a few people tap out already, and like most things, you know, everything is trending. We live in a trending world these days, so I try not to get caught up in trends and things, but there's certain things that they do have merit to them. So I don't just like, you know, play devil's advocate and close my mind to them because they're trendy at the time or they're popular at the time. I try to look a little bit deeper and I try to find if they have any real value for me. So, raw food diet, intermittent fasting. I've read a little bit on this subject. I've heard all the people talk about it, and I did my usual searches, and this is kind of general. This isn't necessarily just about this topic. I wanted to mention something. You know, I've talked to you before, and I was researching several videos today. What I'm trying to do now is like a process, like come up with my ideas for videos, get a bunch of ideas at once, research them, shoot them all, and then, you know, kind of have a flow to it. And as I'm doing research, one thing I noticed, and I've noticed this the whole time, it just kind of, you know, I'm like, I noted it, wrote it down, is when you do searches on this raw vegan lifestyle, the raw food diet, whatever, and this is just something to think about, and it probably happens in a lot of subjects, genres, niches. The top results that come up are not generally what I end up going to for my best information, whether I'm just doing stuff to research for a video or where I'm trying to find information for me. What you'll generally find, especially in this raw food or raw vegan thing, is dabblers. You'll find people, well, here's what you'll find. You'll find a lot of big accounts. Number one, most of them aren't even raw anymore. A lot of the stuff, they're such big accounts, or they dabbled and they were big enough people to where now they've ranked for those keywords, but a lot of the people that I search for raw stuff, they're not even raw anymore, but they're still they fill up the number one page. They've already tapped out. They're not even doing anything healthy anymore. A lot of yo-yo weight loss and weight gain people on there. I've seen a few people on there that over the course of the time that I've been following this lifestyle, they've probably lost the weight and gained the weight equivalent to 2 or 3 human beings. So, and just people that have dropped out of the lifestyle have had their breakdowns. So just be aware your mileage may vary, and don't always look for numbers, you know, just because something shows up on the first page of Google or YouTube, which is the same search engine basically as Google. Don't think it's necessarily your top information. You know, always take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying dismiss it, because there's some good ones on there. I found 2 or 3 nuggets hidden in there, but yeah, your mileage may vary. Intermittent fasting, you know, it's different to different people. There's different versions of it. And what I found out, like I do with a lot of this stuff, is even though I really have not focused a lot on it, there are benefits to certain aspects of intermittent fasting. And in my own way, I'm kind of doing it naturally. Because one of the methods, or one of the ways that a lot of people do it, is a 16:8 ratio. In other words, meaning where you eat all your food within 8 hours and your body fasts for 16. Well, whereas a lot of people make a big point and they move their schedule around, I really just kind of intermittent fast by just naturally. Just without saying, oh, I'm intermittent fasting, that just is naturally kind of my default. I most always eat my dinner. I almost always start eating my dinner around 5. So, depending on how long it takes me to eat, sometimes I'm not finished until 5:30, but let's just say roughly around 5 o'clock is when I finish eating for the day. Okay, the next day comes. Now, this summer, yes, I'm drinking watermelon juice, but I don't have any actual food. It's when I'm shooting this video right now, it's 10:45, and all I've had is my watermelon juice this morning. So I hardly ever eat my solid food until 9 o'clock. So yes, there's some calories, there's some energy in watermelon juice, but pretty much I'm going ahead and extending that until, 10, 11 o'clock. So right there, between 5 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning would be really, and that's just my go-to. I stop eating about 5 o'clock, and I just don't naturally eat until after 9 o'clock. So yeah, I've already been doing that. Let's see, what are some of the things that I saw that are the benefits? It says it reduces inflammation. Of course, it gives your digestion rest. This makes sense because I do stay lean, and I stay lean year round. It helps the fat burning process. And when you're doing the 16-8, your body, when it gets into that range, your body starts tapping into, and it burns fat. So that makes a lot of sense. It boosts the immune system. That makes sense too, because it's all about energy. I've talked about energy before. When your energy is, like most of the time, our energy is going towards digestion, and that's why people are so sluggish. People that overeat, eat all the time, eat so many hours during the day, their energy is constantly digesting. And the kind of foods that most people are eating that are so heavy and take so much energy to digest is basic stuff. You can understand why certain people never have energy. Now, we don't want to go the other way too. We don't want to restrict our calories. Never, never, never. But I feel like when we eat like this, I have energy all the time, and all this stuff makes sense because of just, I don't have an understanding of all the science of it. I can't get all deep science, but I have a simple understanding, and I have common sense, and it all makes sense to me. You're eating a bunch of heavy stuff, or if you're eating a lot of heavier stuff, even if it's not bad food, sad food, still that energy constantly having to digest. Well, that energy is not having to focus on that digestion all the time. It goes towards repairing the body, detoxing you. You're getting rest, longer period of rest. You're detoxing, you're cleaning, you're regenerating your body. It's letting that energy go towards different functions it needs to do in your body. And this is why, like I say, we're not getting into talking fasting and healing, which is a different subject where you're actually fasting, but it's all about the energy. What is your energy directed towards? That's why people with serious disease, life-threatening disease, will do fasting, because now all that energy is going towards healing. And it's not going towards digestion. Listen, and also, as I always say about this kind of stuff, I'm not here to debate you. Eat how you see fit. Eat how you see fit. I just do things that make sense to me. They have to intuitively make sense to me. Now, I don't want to go overboard with this intuition thing, because our intuition is probably not enough. I always want to make sure that I make that clear, that I don't go 100%, I don't go fully on intuition. I'm always got another little voice in the back balancing that intuition, going like, okay, but there's always things to watch, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. Look out for things that might take a little bit longer to show up. But yeah, like I say, I'm not here to debate, and I know the intermittent fasting will bring out some of the extremists that will be on here giving you a comment. When you get the comments that are about 6 paragraphs long, you're like, oh God, there you go. And they're just almost religious, like every other subject. Like if I talk about fat, I'll have the religious people on fat, against fat, always telling me, you always have these kind of culty, extremist, religious type views on it. I don't like to get emotionally involved in anything like this. I just try to go through data, analyze what makes sense. experiment with it on my body, see how it works, and then share it. Even though I see how it works on me, I'm not saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm just saying, hey, this is what happened, this is what I did, this is how I ate, this is what I did for a period of time, or this is what I've been doing for this period of time. You see me doing videos every day, you draw your own conclusions. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm not trying to ever talk anybody into doing anything on this channel. And I've got no stake in it. I've got no stake in debating. There's no return on investment for debating diet to me. That's just people that do that all day, every day. I don't think they have too much to do in life and they're bored and they just want to, constantly debate this stuff. For me, I just kind of tell you what I do. I present it. I do like to have good, intelligent conversation back and forth, which is going to be so nice at Woodstock here next month. But yeah, there's benefits to the intermittent fasting. Just kind of like always walk the middle way. I like the Buddha, the middle way, don't be so extreme. It's not like don't go think intermittent fasting is the greatest thing. It's going to save you. It's the only thing, blah, 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 blah. That's all I'm focusing on. And don't hate intermittent fasting. Oh, it's stupid, this or that. Find what is of value to you. In almost any subject on this lifestyle, on almost any subject on anything, you can find little nuggets here and there. You'll find truths hidden within a bunch of bullshit. You'll find bullshit stuffed in, hidden amongst truths. So always use your mind. Always be an individual and always make the choices for yourself. Don't let anybody else tell you how to take care of this most precious thing that you have on this earth. It's all about you. You take the responsibility. Anyhow, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.